Welcome back to Inside Nashville, where our guest today has been Mark Driskill, who's the head of ASCAP's office here in Nashville. When we left, Mark, you were explaining to us just only thing I can say is it's a very, very complex,
Right.
it's a wide array of issues that you're having to deal with, and not only are they market conditions, but they have a lot to do with what the judiciary is going to say, what the political climate might be, which is always going to complicate any kind of business model that you're dealing with.
Right.
One of the things that comes to mind is ASCAP Begins. It's primarily about radio, it's about cabaret, it's about live, now it's about digital, now it's about tracks, now it's about sync, it's about streaming on the internet.
Right.
I mean, there's all these different usages, and I just have to wonder, a lot of our guests that have been inside Nashville have talked about the challenges that they're facing relative to the revenue stream.
Right.
Are you feeling the same pressures from a revenue perspective? And what are some of the strategies that you've got to be thinking about or employing? Because it sounds like your revenues are under pressure, but your costs to provide these services, you can't really cut that many costs.
Right. Yeah. I speak to the radio model a lot, again, just because it seems to be the most common within the understanding. But our radio fees are based on an adjusted gross revenue figure. So essentially, it's advertising dollars. So in 2008, when the economy tanked, advertisers are less willing to spend money or unable to spend money. Our fees go down. Now, that is all wrapped up in an environment where digital platforms are trying to make it. Non-ad platforms, non-ad-based platforms are trying to make it. So you can imagine going from a model with that radio model where you're essentially relying on corporate America to pay the royalties for these songwriters and publishers and artists, to a world where these non-ad-based platforms, they're essentially asking the consumer to pay a subscription fee, watch an ad every so often. It's a much, much different model. And it took radio several years to get to the point where they had a lock on that advertising market. And I think it's going to take these other platforms several years too. But I do believe that the non-ad-based platforms right now will reach a point to where the subscriber base levels out. A publicly traded company is not going to stop putting pressure on their executives to make more money. So I believe that a lot of those platforms will at some point go to an ad-based system. I think they'll be pushed to. I think they'll have to. The question is how? Are they push ads? Are they, how will that work? And how will it be monetized?
And in the interim, though, so you're still, I'm sure, struggling a bit. I'm sure it's raised a bit, but you're still struggling with these revenues, and you've got these greater costs. Can you talk specifically about some of the strategies that maybe Mark has implemented in Nashville to try to mitigate some of those, and then take the next step and just say, where do you see all this going? Where will we be in 3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about what you're doing specifically, strategically today, and where do you see that going in the future?
Essentially, what we have to do, and our goal in our relationships with our members, is to be the best partner we can be. Business partner and creative partner. Those are really the two elements that we look at, and feel like we can be impactful in the careers of our members. So, what we have to do is we have to obviously watch how we spend money. We have restructured the company in a pretty significant way over the past two and a half years.
And restructuring meaning you've reduced your overhead.
We've reduced overhead. We've reduced about a little over 110 positions. Some of that is due to technology. It's easier to get data from radio stations. You can get it electronically, and you don't have to do it you know, in the old way. You know, technology is our friend at this point in relation to the operations side. So we've eliminated several positions, reduced all of the overhead that we possibly can, and then what we do is we focus on, you know, co-branding. We focus on ways that we can not spend money. There's a lot of corporate partners out there that want to have access to the music industry, you know. So instead of us spending, you know, $5,000 on a sponsorship of something, let's go out and get a branding partner that wants that access. We will provide the talent, and we'll have a financial partner come in and pay the $5,000 to have access to the songwriters and artists.
Could you give us an example of something like that?
Yeah, I think, you know, we do several events throughout the year. There's songwriter festivals that we partner with to try to promote the careers and the songs of our songwriters. There's two in particular right now that we're looking at bringing in partners on the financial side with us, where we just provide the talent. There's the 30A Songwriters Festival down in Seaside and Watercolor and Rosemary Beach. That's just an outstanding festival. 3 years old, but they've sold out every year. We're looking at trying to bring some additional partners into that. The great thing for us is for some of those new songwriters, it gives them an ability and a platform to get out there and have their music heard, create some new fans. Right. You know, feel like they're, you know, that they really do they network with some other writers and artists. It's about finding those opportunities for them to help enhance their career a little bit.
And so is the 30A initiative, is that an ASCAP specific initiative?
It's handled by the Cultural Arts Association of 30A.
I see.
But we're a sponsor, we're a partner
Okay.
within that, and you know, our goal is to make it the best event possible by providing the best talent that we can to them.
So it's also a recruitment opportunity.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely. So you know, overall, I think what our goals are is to, you know, look at our business and look to see what kind of an impact we need to have. What do people expect from us, and try to help make this shift for everybody. I don't know what the future will look like, but I do believe that the pressures will continue. I think what we're operating right now in a time that you not only have some shifts in the way the music is distributed and music is heard, music gets to the consumer, but we're also experiencing some challenges with the economy as well. Music, the licenses that we have generally been based on revenue of the music user, and you know, there again, advertising dollars. So there's a couple of real pressures that are coming together right now to present some of those challenges. But I believe that the value of music will always be there. The question is what are consumers willing to pay? They're used to hearing radio for free,
right,
other than listening to ads. Are they willing to pay subscriptions? What's the balance there? I believe our culture will always demand music. It's our job now to make sure that the value stays as strong for the writers and publishers as we can make it.
I think that's a great ending point. Thank you, Mark, for being here today on Inside Nashville.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you. Thank you for being with us today on Inside Nashville with our guest, Mark Driskill, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks again, Mark.
Thank you.